Hi, welcome today to Celebrity Customer Experience Riffs with me, Jill Raff. And today we're going to be talking about everything relevant and important in the moment, sharing stories from the past, the perspective always from the customer experience, from the inside out, from the employee experience to the to the customer experience, which should always be a celebrity customer experience. Why? Because I'm obsessed with employee experience, creating an outstanding customer experience. I believe that every customer deserves to have the same pampering treatment as a celebrity. Isn't that what you want when you decide to give your business to a company? They've earned your business. They should be treating you like a celebrity. It begins from the inside out, which is why my proprietary process is called the Inside Out Framework, from EX to CX, because I guarantee you outstanding employee experience will produce stellar customer experience. I specifically created this show to help businesses during this challenging, crazy time that we're in, because we have an opportunity to innovate and evolve out of crisis. And truly, the same customer experience principles applied before COVID apply now during the difficult times, and will always apply post-COVID PC. What will be considered acceptable in the new PC era, the post-COVID era, it's still great customer experience. My goal is to help businesses not only survive today during this challenging times, but also create a plan and have an action plan, take action for success tomorrow. My parents and grandparents' first McDonald's was store number 150, which was opened in Ocala, Florida in 1959, when McDonald's was the gold standard of the restaurant industry. Sadly, with so many brands that we all experience now today, long gone are the days where most owners are hands-on and they get involved in whatever's going on, whatever is needed to make sure that the customers have the best experience. And due to my upbringing in the McDonald's family and careers in various industries ranging from fashion to restaurant to real estate, spanning 6 countries, the one common thread throughout, which I learned as a young child, it was Ray Kroc's motto that the customer is always right. So always put your customer's interest first. And that's what I learned. And that's why CX is truly in my DNA. So I was very fortunate to grow up seeing and hearing and watching my father as a strong and yet kind leader. And the feedback, the reviews and ratings I'm now hearing from others who worked for my dad and stayed with him for decades are 5 stars. The way that he educated them, he engaged them, he entrusted them. He influenced them to create confidence in his leadership. And they wanted to continue to work for him. Likewise, his customers felt the same about him as he did about them, because he believed in them and they believed in him. Now, if you've been following, you can go back and see past recordings. You'll see that I have talked before about the power of ratings and reviews, but it is so important that I've just experienced how powerful they really are firsthand. So it's worth devoting another episode today on the power of ratings and reviews and how it influences decision-making, how it influenced my buying decision. And this won't be the last time that I bring this up, for sure, because that's how important it is. John Mims, an employee who began working with McDonald's for my dad when he was 17 years old as a crew member, and he rose through the management. And he said to me, your dad would come into the store and he would ask me, John, what do you need? What can I do to make things better? And Lori Armstrong, another person who's been with him for decades and actually is still with McDonald's, said to me, I'm looking because I wanted to be able to quote them. She said, your dad really cared and he always wanted to get things right. And this is why he got raving reviews when I interviewed John and Lori about their time working with my dad at McDonald's. So it's interesting because last week I said that employees don't leave their jobs, but they leave bad bosses, bad managers. And we talked about going from toxic management to kind management. So we talked about why employees leave. It's not really that it's their job. They love their job, but they're leaving their bosses. It's toxic. They need to get away. Well, today I'm talking about why customers leave a brand. So I had this example, and I want to share this with you. And I would love to hear experiences that you have when you're buying and how ratings and reviews influence your decisions. Because actually, a study by Fan and Fuel said that 97% of shoppers today say that their reviews will influence their buying decisions, as it did mine. And a perfect example. So here's my story. And I'm going to share with you some of the reviews through my research. I'll take you through the steps of what I did. So I need to buy a new refrigerator and a new washer and dryer. And there are some Whirlpool appliances there already. So I thought, okay, I'll just buy Whirlpool. It'll all match up. Excuse me. It's made in America. It'll look uniform, and I want to support made here locally. Excuse me. I'm going to grab something quickly. Something in my throat. Sorry about that. So I researched probably too much to a fault, and through my cross-referencing and my researching, and especially as a long line leading fact finder in my Colby profile, I exhaust research, looking through the features, the specs, the reviews, the ratings, and especially I look at the review comments. So I was 100% committed to buying a Whirlpool refrigerator and washer and dryer. That's, several $1,000s when you put them together, which is not a huge expense, but it's not small change either. And this is what the business Whirlpool is, only in that business. So my business to them would be really important, and what people say about it. So, okay, I was committed 100%. They're founded in Michigan. They're still in Michigan, headquartered 108 years later. I love that. Okay, I'm going to go buy a Whirlpool, but let's just check which one is the best one to buy. Well, here's what I read that influenced my purchase. And I'm going to share with you some screenshots that I took of the reviews. Let me just pull that up. Consumer Reports found that 91% of customers will not do business with you a second time if you botch the first encounter. So interestingly, let me see here. Hang on one sec. I'm going to pull up that screen. Okay, there we go. So if you can see from this review right here, and hopefully you can see the whole review. I'll scooch that up a little bit. Consumer Affairs, 1 star. So first and foremost, it's stark to see that 1 star there. And, based on that report, they said people won't do business with you if you botch the first one, 91%. So here this buyer said, I've always bought Whirlpool. So they were a repeat buyer. Great. Whirlpool must have done something right throughout all these years to make it right for them. And yet they only have 1 star. So I thought that's very curious. So let's read on and figure out why and what happened. So this guy bought Whirlpool again, bought the French door refrigerator, which is one of the things that I was looking to buy. And he said that Whirlpool sent out their certified tech, not once, not twice, 4 times. Now, these are people who are in the supply chain that have been approved by Whirlpool to go and do their servicing. Certified tech went out, and they had to come 4 times. So apparently their problem persisted, and they were hoping that Whirlpool would give them some support. But basically, as you can read here, it says that basically they said tough. This customer felt they had no concern whatsoever, and they were completely indifferent. And this is the thing that's most important to see. I don't know if my mouse is showing here. No concern whatsoever. The indifference shown has convinced us to never purchase another Whirlpool. How about that? And this is what's crazy, is that this person also wrote to the CEO, Mark Bitzer, chairman and CEO of Whirlpool, never responded. Never responded. The CEO never responded. That is just so crazy to me. You know, I talked before about ratings and reviews and how important it is to respond. But your CEO, if you get a direct email to you, not okay. And how many people were influenced? So at this point in time, specifically, there were 23 other people who saw this review and myself who were being influenced in their buying decision based on that. You know, when a customer does complain, they want to know they've been heard, that they've been acknowledged and appreciated, that they've bought your product or your service. And if there's a problem, that you care to make it right. And studies show that, in fact, if you respond as soon as possible, on the spot, the better. But, you know, that's not very realistic. Even within 24 to 48 hours, you will increase your customer satisfaction between 82 and 98%. Why? It's simple. It just shows that you care. It shows that you're responsive, that you're paying attention, and that you're not leaving your customers stranded. So let's go to the next review. I'm going to pull this one up here. Now, here's Heather of Rochester, recent, just this past June, and she bought the Whirlpool, also French door refrigerator, 11 months ago in July. And the ice maker began pouring out water, she says. The temperature of the fridge wouldn't get below 50 degrees. So she contacted Whirlpool, and the tech said that it would be over $800 in parts. $800 plus the service to repair, which we all know labor is usually so much more. Now, she asked a very valid question. How is it that a 10-month-old refrigerator needs all of the parts replaced except for the condenser? Crazy. And here's what's really important. I highlighted in red what I think is really, really important. The blue kind of gives you the scenario of what's going on with them. She feels, and I agree, that Whirlpool should be held accountable for manufacturing and defect, and not to leave their customers stranded. And that's it. When your customers feel like you've left them stranded and you don't care, that is going to be the end of their business. And she gave them also 1 star, as you can see here. Now, 9 people at this point have seen that review, and I can guarantee you many more if people continue to check the reviews, which they will. 90%, over 90% of customers who feel that the companies have an effortless, let me start over. Over 90% of customers who have an effortless service experience with the companies will buy from them again, because everyone's busy and crazy and you're spending a lot of money. You want your business to be easy, to flow, to be effortless. You want to know that the company's doing what they can to make it right and to make it easy for you to buy from them. Everyone wants to have an easy experience. So the key is, as a company, no matter what you're in, a product or a service, make it easy for people to buy from you. And, you know, I'll reference back again, that first, let me go back here, that very first review. You know, here's someone who was a lifetime customer of Whirlpool that is no longer going to give them their business. So kind of crazy. Here's another one that emphasizes this. Tim of Fort Collins. He said he was looking to buy this very specific 26.2 cubic foot door-in-door refrigerator, which interestingly is the exact refrigerator that I'm looking to buy. So this was really important to me. Well, he talks about the fact that ice is melting. It sounded like the other person had the same problem. And that for them, they had a tech come out and almost all of the major parts were replaced. Almost all of the major parts. Imagine. Now, I guess he also had the tech come out multiple times, and he was told that Whirlpool required a part to be replaced, the same part to be replaced 3 times before considering buying and them a new refrigerator, basically replacing the entire refrigerator. Imagine they're putting the onus and the weight of the trouble and being without a refrigerator and having to call tech and go through this 3 times before they'll even consider replacing it. So notice the word is consider, because I do find the nuances that these companies use with their language, which really means that we aren't guaranteeing that we're going to replace your product, whatever it is that you bought, but we'll consider it. So all the headaches, the trouble, the arguing, the time, and then the loss of the product. And in this case, a refrigerator, which is pretty big because that's your food source, and food can go bad, and it's crazy. 90% of customers expect to receive consistent customer experience across all channels. So I mentioned before about the supply chain and the tech. So let's move on to the next review here by Doug of Erie, Colorado. Now, this is also recent. Bought a new refrigerator January of this year, and initially had a problem with a very loud fan. Replaced it, back and forth. A lot of different things kept going. Then the ice was melting in the freezer. So they say now the fourth call on a new refrigerator, the tech said it needed a new compressor. It's like, what else could go wrong? That's the body. That's the thing that makes it work. He had to wait 34 days. 34 days later, it is still not fixed. And he said, this is the catch-all, that the Whirlpool service provider blamed Whirlpool. And then Whirlpool turns around and blames the techs that they send out. It's crazy. Like, we want to know 90% of customers expect to have a great, consistent customer experience across all channels. And that means your service providers as well. Excuse me. And he goes on to say that apparently 4 service calls in 5 months over a month period, a month, crazy. 4 service calls in 5 months, and over 1 month of having to live with a totally broken refrigerator is their bar for good service. So what he's saying is 100% correct. Neither their approved service provider or Whirlpool could care the least. Awful service, try another brand. Wow. So it is the complete opposite, where you're telling people, raving reviews, they gave me great experience. This product works great. I ate at this restaurant. They were amazing. The food was incredible. The service was fabulous. They took such great care of me. Make sure you go eat here. Make sure you do business with this company. Instead, here's what this review is saying. And this is what so many have said. This one says it point blank. Awful service, try another brand. So by the time I get to this one, I'm thinking, you know what? I think I should try another brand. I believe them. I am taking their word. I trust them more than I do the company. And interestingly, a study that was done by Mayo said that by 2020, which is where we are now, 89% of customers will shift to companies providing better customer experience and engagement. Now, it's interesting because this was done prior to COVID-19. And I think even more now, with this pandemic going on, everyone wants to be taken care of, to be engaged, to know that they're getting great personal attention. So it brings me to the last review that I have here, where it just brings this home. Again, a recent review, you'll see the date here, June 16th. And this person was remodeling, got the Whirlpool appliances because that was what was there in the kitchen. And now she just bought this refrigerator when lockdown happened. So we're talking March, right? And she writes this in June. So just a few months later, and her freezer went out. 8 visits later by a local repair person. 8. So not 3 appointments, not 3 replacements or 4. This person has had to endure 8 different tech visits. And what happened? Whirlpool did not honor the warranty. They kept sending the repair guy back over and over to replace the same parts that had been replaced that are defective. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding. I would want to take that thing and just throw it out the window. So she said even the repair guy was frustrated with Whirlpool. Again, this is not consistent across all the supply chain. Their own tech people were frustrated with Whirlpool. I mean, imagine, what does that say to customers? That is huge. And again, what is here? Never again. Totally lost a customer here. So what's important for Whirlpool to know is that not only did they lose a customer in this one person, in Shane, but they lost at least 2 customers, because I am not looking at Whirlpool anymore. And I can guarantee you that someone just like me who's looking through the reviews, who wants to buy a refrigerator, will read these series of reviews and they will have lost them as a customer, potential customer. So here, all of these 5 reviews are just a sampling of all the ones that I've read out there. So they have lost all of those customers, existing customers. And it actually is 6 to 7 times more expensive to attain new customers than it is to maintain your current ones. Well, in looking at these reviews, which are completely unacknowledged and not responded to by the business, they have lost those past customers and they've lost potential customers. We don't want this to happen with you. It's really something that's very, very important to make sure you stay on top of your reviews and that you respond to them. And first and foremost, that you fix the problem and that you don't ignore your people and that you do what you can in advance to be proactive so that these things are not happening. Now, granted, with large appliances, there are a lot of moving parts, no pun intended, but something needs to be done because this is over a span of a reasonable period of time, and obviously there's been no changes. So what did I do? I decided, forget about Whirlpool. I am not buying Whirlpool. And I have to give kudos here. I'm talking about the bad experiences, but I want to talk for a second about good experiences also. So Pacific Sales is a division that works within Best Buy and handles all their appliances. And they are fabulous. I go to the one that's the largest one. I'm in Austin, Texas, but I would suggest find the one that's closest to you that you can go talk to them, see about their experience, their knowledge, and decide for you which is the best one. But these people, everyone that I've spoken to over many years, because I am a repeat customer, is so knowledgeable, and they know about the reviews, they know about durability, they know about parts availability, you name it, and they're great. And so I've actually decided to leave Whirlpool, and I'm sad about not buying local, but who wants those headaches? I don't think that you have a right to just get someone's business because we want to support local. We want to support them. We want to support them. But if you have not earned people's business, then you don't deserve their money. You need to earn their business. And so I was told that LG right now is the leading refrigerator, followed by Samsung, where, several years ago when I was looking, I was told the opposite because it was hard to get parts. But what did they do? They knew that there were all these problems, that people were complaining about it. So they re-engineered a piece, like, for example, with their ice maker, and they found more contracts to find more service people here in the US to service their people, their customers, their products. And so this is a perfect example of a company who's hearing the reviews, the ratings, hearing the problems, and responding to it positively, so that now, fast forward a year or so later, they've gained my business, where before I was buying local. So again, really important of using ratings and reviews to win people's business, to earn their business. And this is something that will continue for repeat sales, will help you in your repeat sales no matter what. So if any of this makes sense to you, I want to hear about your experiences as well. So please comment, please join. And, I've been working so hard to try to make a difference, and using the reviews and the ratings is one strategy that I have fleshed out, very detailed for restaurants, for any business. But I have a program called Creating Confident Customers and through customer experience. And I will put that up on the screen. Because during this time, especially, the loss of trust for customers to do business with companies, with restaurants, with hospitality, which is hurting so bad and it hurts my heart, is really waned. And it's very important that we get that trust back. Trust is the foundation of any relationship, personal or business. And so through this course, it's condensed, it's focused, it's specific, but will be a beautiful platform for you to go in and look at what's going on with your specific business and how you can apply those tools. And it's not one of these same typical DIY courses out there, digital, do it yourself, you're left on your own. No, I will be there to help walk you through it, to hold your hand, to be support through personal phone calls, through Facebook groups, you name it. And so if you're interested in that, and you want to increase your business, your revenue, your ratings, reviews, your repeat customers now and going forward, I've added a special module based on what's going on right now. It's called Beyond the CDC. I've also done a talk about that. You can check it out. But there are things that we need to think about in addition to the regular customer experience and employee experience strategies and systems and educating them and really knowing how to engage your people. So I welcome you and invite you to please check this out. There's the link for you. It's my website, jillraff.com/CCTCX for confident customers through customer experience. You can also, please feel free to reach out to me. Let me just change this so you can see it without it scrolling. So it's whoops, hold on. Let's see here. Not scroll. Okay, there you go. So reach out to me both by email, jill@jillraff.com. Check out my website and services there, jillraff.com. Or feel free to text me or reach out directly. My phone number is there, 917-887-5899. Really excited to continue this work and hope that I can help you grow through both ratings and reviews and all other areas of delivering an outstanding customer experience through a great employee experience. Thanks for joining me today.